guys, what's going on? It's MassiveJoes Raw Review, and I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Awesome Raw Review for the viewers at home today on what has quickly become one of the most popular isolate whey proteins on the planet today from our good friends at Rule 1 Proteins. Rule 1, R1, isolate protein in the house. Let's get straight into it, show you exactly what's in it. That nutritional information panel ain't gonna get it done. We're about to go balls deep in this here Rule 1 R1 whey protein isolate. Luckily, we've got a big ass nutritional information panel appearing on screen at the moment. Let's start from the top. Serving size, 1 scoop. Now this serving size, the scoop weight is going to depend on the flavor. So depending on the flavor, it's going to be as low as 28.5 grams, as high as 30.6 grams, and we're going to how that plays out into serves in just a second. That is a level scoop. It's not a heap scoop. The scoops are true to level, so that is a level scoop. We've got 38 total serves, regardless of the scoop weight, 38 serves in the small tubs. We then have double that amount, 76 serves, regardless of the scoop weight. Rule 1, make sure you get that number of serves in the big tubs, and then double up again. Double up for the big bags, 152 serves in the big bags. In terms of the macros, because it is a protein, of course. Let's start with the calories. Calories are also going to be dependent on flavor, as low as 100, as high as 120, which for those of us who use kilojoules, 418 kilojoules is the lowest, up to 502 kilojoules is the highest. Fat is going to be 0 to 0.5 grams. Saturated fat is 0 grams, regardless of the flavor. Carbs is 1 to 2 grams. Sugars are 0 grams, regardless of the flavor. Protein is 25 grams across each and every flavor. In terms of how those percentages drop out, we're talking 82 to 88% protein by weight. It's a very, very high protein. We're talking 3 to 7% carbs by weight, and we're talking 1 to 1.5% fat by weight. So no surprises here, viewers at home. This is a very high quality, super lean, super pure whey protein isolate. In terms of where the protein is coming from, it's actually a blend of 2 types of protein. So Rule 1, they don't disclose how the blend is put together, but they do disclose what's in it. So they call it a protein blend. And it's a blend primarily of whey protein isolate, but then also whey protein hydrolysate. So that's how Rule 1 are able to get such high protein with such low amounts of carbohydrates and low amounts of fat in each and every scoop. We then also have some lecithin in there that just makes it mix well in liquid, particularly water. We've got some natural and artificial flavors across almost every flavor. Then we've got sweeteners. Now the sweeteners do depend on flavor as well. Most of them will use sucralose and ACE-K, acesulfame potassium. Some of them also use stevia as well. In terms of our naturally occurring amino acid profile, the cool thing with Rule 1 is they actually give you on the label right here, they give you a breakdown, a typical naturally occurring amino acid breakdown on the label right there. But we do know that we're getting 6 total grams of naturally occurring peptide bound branch chain amino acids per scoop, and 4 grams of glutamine from glutamic acid per scoop. I will point out, guys, I did mention this is a very pure whey protein isolate. We have no creamers. We have no gums. We have no thickeners. We have no digestive enzymes. It literally is everything you want in a pure whey protein isolate, which is whey protein isolate, whey protein hydrolysate, nothing that you don't. That being said, the cookies and cream flavor does contain real cookie crumbs, so you are going to get a little bit more macros in from those cookie crumbs. Not a whole lot though, but that is the only flavor that differs regarding those little additions in there. In terms of how it tastes, how it mixes, comes in 9 flavors. At this point in time in the Australian market, I'm sure knowing what Rule One generally do, they continuously add new flavors. But at the moment, we've got 9 flavors. We've got chocolate fudge. We've got, this is actually my personal tub. So this is going to be the tub we use for the taste and mixability test. Chocolate peanut butter, AKA Reese's chocolate peanut butter pieces. We've got cookies and cream, which is their take on an Oreo flavor with the real cookie crumbs in there. We've got frozen banana. We've got mint chocolate chip. We've got lightly salted caramel. We've got pavlova cake. We've got strawberries and cream. And finally, we have vanilla cream flavor. This, my personal tub, the chocolate peanut butter. Infamous MassiveJoes taste and mixability test about to go down. Got myself an MJ shaker. Got the double wall glass, of course, ready to go. So I'm going to take 1 scoop. And I will point out to you guys, I did do a little scoop weigh test before I came in to shoot this video for you guys. Rule One have done an exceptional job. Obviously, their scoops are custom made for their products. But this scoop, a perfectly level scoop, is bang on. For each and every flavor, the weight that it's supposed to be. So for this chocolate peanut butter, this level scoop right here is supposed to weigh 30.8 grams. It weighs 30.8 grams. So bravo, Rule One, exceptional job with the scoop weight because most companies do not get that right. Scoop about to go in. Let me chuck the lid on this MJ shaker. A few flicks of the wrist. Let me show you guys how it mixes and refresh my memory on how this Rule One R1 isolate protein tastes, man. Put the lid back on this tub too. I'm gonna have Rule One R1 protein all over the damn filming studio. All right, that's enough. You guys can see that. Let me show you how this is mixed. As you can see, perfect. Absolutely perfect. No frothing on the top that sometimes. Oh, we got Siri up in the raw review wants to get involved. As you guys can see, we've got no frothing on the top. It's perfectly mixed. That being said, you know what? You could, I mean, technically, you could mix it in a glass with a spoon, but let's be honest, you're drinking your protein out of a protein shaker, so I'm going to go so far as blender bowl is required. For this here, Rule One R1 isolate protein, let me refresh my memory on how this chocolate peanut butter, aka Reese's chocolate peanut butter pieces taste, man. Oh man. Rule One have done it again. They do not fuck spiders when it comes to the flavoring of their protein, viewers. And this R1 protein is no exception. They have nailed these flavors. I mean, nailed these flavors. And the fact that they've done it with no gums, no creamers, no thickeners, none of that shit, and they're able to deliver that sort of drinking experience is world class. Absolutely world class. There's no other way that I can put that. I will say the flavors are exceptional. You gotta remember, this is a whey protein isolate with no gums, no thickeners, none of that shit in there. So the texture of it, you're gonna have to mess around with the amount of liquid that you mix it with to get the texture that you want. So I had 8 ounces of water. So I followed the directions here. It says 6 to 8 ounces of water. So I went towards the upper end, 8 ounces of water per scoop. If you want it to be a little bit thicker, just use a little bit less water. If you want it to be a bit thinner, use a little bit more water. But keep in mind that because it is a very pure whey protein isolate, it is going to tend to be on the more watery side of texture rather than more kind of gummy or more thick or more kind of milkshake type side. So you're going to generally need to use less water than you think you're going to use. In terms of the versatility, you can sludge with it. You can make, your protein custard, that sort of treat where you just put a scoop in a bowl and add some water and mix it up. because there's no thickeners in there, because there's very low carbs, very low fat, it's gonna make more of like a protein soup, to be honest with you guys, than it is a protein sludge. Really, it is a drinking protein. If you really want to sludge it, you can. It's not going to cook very well, but if you want to drink it, it's going to be one of the best whey protein isolate drinking experiences that you guys have experienced thus far. In terms of the effects, no surprises here, guys. It is a very high protein, low carb, low fat, pure whey protein isolate. So the main effect you're going to get from this is to increase your daily protein intake, help you hit your protein goals, help you recover from your workouts, help boost muscle recovery if you're participating in resistance-based training, all of those awesome things that increasing your protein intake will do. And the benefit of getting it from a Rule 1 R1 isolate is that it tastes delicious and it's easy to drink at the same time. In terms of the side effects, the main side effect that we generally see with whey protein isolates are people who are super sensitive to lactose. Like if you have like a sniff of lactose and that causes you problems, you're probably going to want to completely stay away from dairy-based proteins in general. That being said, this is going to be as close to lactose-free as you're going to get in a whey protein isolate. So if you are not super sensitive to lactose or super lactose intolerant, you shouldn't have any issues. The other thing that we tend to see with whey protein isolates is those products that contain digestive enzymes. For some people, digestive enzymes can actually mess up their microbiome, can actually cause them gastrointestinal distress instead of helping them digest the protein. You don't have any of those sort of side effects with the Rule 1 R1 because there are no digestive enzymes in there. So the side effects really, unless you're allergic to dairy, you're not going to get them. What does it compare to? So it's no surprise that there are some very good quality whey protein isolates on the market today. This R1 protein has quickly become one of the most popular on the planet very quickly. It hasn't been around very long and it is standing shoulder to shoulder with some of these isolates that have been around for decades. So I want to compare it on one hand to one of these isolates that's been around for decades, Dymatize ISO 100, and on the other hand, a newer isolate that hasn't been around, well, probably been around a similar amount of time as the Rule 1, maybe a little bit less, even a little bit younger, and that is Redcon 1 Isotope. So, comparing to ISO 100, very similar in terms of pricing. The Rule 1 is slightly better value for money when you're looking at per scoop because the tubs are not sold on weight, they're sold on number of serves per tub. And when you go up into the larger sizes, the large bags in particular, the Rule 1 isolate is without doubt better value for money than the ISO 100. The macros across the two products are almost identical, and that's because the source of the protein is almost identical. Whey protein isolate, whey protein hydrolysate. Versatility is very comparable. Texture is very comparable. One thing that I have noticed with the ISO 100 is it does tend to froth up in a shaker when you're mixing it. You will get that froth on top, whereas the Rule 1 you guys saw in the taste and mixability test, you don't get any of that at all. And a similar range of flavors. The Rule 1, we're talking about 9 flavors. I think the ISO 100 has a few more, but we're talking generally similar types of flavors. You've got your dessert-based flavors, you've got your fruit-based flavors, you've got your more exclusive type flavors, your unique type flavors. So the flavor range is very similar. On the flip side, looking at Redcon 1 Isotope, once again, similar price. Once again, when you go into the big bags of the Rule 1 R1 isolate, really nothing comes close to that. That is the best value for money isolate protein you're going to find on the market at this point in time. The macros in the isotope are not quite as good. They are going to contain more carbs and more calories. And that's primarily because the isotope does contain at least gums. I think there might be some creamers and thickeners in there as well, but definitely contains gums. That means it is going to be a little more versatile. You can sludge with it. You can kind of cook with it. Still not a great protein to cook with, but if you kind of force it, you can make a protein pancake, that sort of thing. And the texture is slightly thicker because of those gums in there as well. Isotope, nowhere near as many flavors as the Rule 1 R1 protein and nowhere near the range of flavors at all. Who is this R1 protein best for? Guys, really anybody who's looking to increase daily protein intake and wants to get it from a delicious vehicle that is convenient, that is good value for money, and is just an absolute delight to consume. Price and value for money to finish off on this Rule 1 R1. In your 38 serve tub, your smaller tub, in the Australian marketplace, you're looking at $79.95, which breaks out at $2.10 per scoop. If you go up to twice this size, the 76 serve tub, that price per scoop comes down to $1.84 at $139.95 for the 76 serves. If you go into the big bags, and as I mentioned, this is where the Rule 1 R1 protein is unbeatable when it comes to value for money. $229.95 for the 152 serves. So it is a big price tag, so over 200 bucks. But when you figure out what that is per scoop, it's $1.51 per scoop. It's a blended protein price for a premium protein isolate. I personally don't even know how they do that. It's absolutely unreal, but great for us protein consumers to get that sort of value for money. It really is, without shadow of a doubt, the best value for money pure whey protein isolate available, definitely in Australia at this point in time, probably on the planet at this point in time. I mean, you really can't go past the Rule 1 R1 isolate protein. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel, guys. Don't forget to turn your post notifications on your mobile, your cell phone, your desktop PC, your smart TV, and any other device that you're watching this video on, so you don't miss a beat when it comes to all these new raw reviews and everything else we've got going here on the MassiveJoes YouTube channel. Guys, that is MassiveJoes raw review on Rule 1 R1 protein isolate. And I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Stay massive.
Thank you for tuning in to this video. We hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out our latest upload and our recommended video, and be sure to subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads.